Okay, you have made it to lesson 6, guys. This is the final lesson before you actually start working on your writing. So this one's going to focus on conclusion paragraphs, and like the others, you're going to be able to understand the structure and the organization of conclusion paragraphs through taking your notes and then passing that mastery check. Okay, so what is a conclusion paragraph? All right, this is the final paragraph in an essay. Your job here is to tie up the main points. All right, you want to show why your argument matters. Why is your argument important? Or why is the argument that you made important? Okay, and by doing that, you're going to leave your reader with a strong impression. So there are 3 steps to writing a conclusion. The first is to return to your thesis statement. You want to, you don't restate your thesis, meaning you don't want to write exactly what you wrote in your introduction. Instead, you want to rephrase it. Say it in a new way to show how you've developed it over the course of the paper. Then you want to review your main points, remind your reader of the points that you made in the thesis in your intro. Be sure that you don't summarize, but you just tie them together to show the connection that they have. And then you want to show why it matters. Okay, you're going to zoom out to a broader view, emphasize the significance of the subject to the world, just emphasize the significance, in general, and have a strong, decisive sentence to end your paper. Do not end your paper with a question. So the same way that I said you should not open your paper with a question, you should not end your paper with a question, okay? You want to leave your reader thinking, but you don't want to leave your reader thinking like you didn't answer something, because your job in an essay is to prove everything, not to make the reader question more, all right? So let's take a look at an example of a conclusion, all right? So it starts with rephrasing the thesis, like Louis Braille paved the way for dramatic cultural changes in the way blind people were treated and the opportunities available to them. Then we go back to the main points. Braille's innovation was to reimagine existing reading systems from a blind perspective, and the success of this invention required sighted teachers to adapt to their students' reality instead of the other way around. In this sense, Braille helped drive broader social change in the status of blindness. You can see the different things that were talked about in this paper and the way that they are all interwoven and tied together. And then we explain why it matters, okay? New accessibility tools provide practical advantages to those who need them, but they can also change the perspectives and attitudes of those who do not. So notice that it ends with a very decisive statement about the accessibility to new tools for the blind. Let's talk about what should not go in your conclusion, okay? You should never have new information, okay? If it isn't in your body paragraph, it should never be in the conclusion. You do not want to have concluding phrases like in conclusion or to sum up. You can use these when you're writing a single paragraph, but you should not use them to end your overall essay. All right? It's not that this is wrong, but again, like with some other writing tips I've given you, this is just a signal of weaker writing. And finally, don't undermine yourself, okay? Do not use apologetic phrases. Don't say anything at all that's going to contradict your argument in any way. You have to always treat your writing like this is my opinion and it is the right opinion. And your job is to just simply prove that throughout, right? So don't ever make it seem like sort of like when in class and you say, I don't know if this is right, but you don't want to do that when you're asking a question ever. You don't want to do that when you're having an argument, and you certainly don't want to do that in your writing. Okay, make sure you're leaving your reader convinced that your argument is the right argument. All right? If you want to get more in-depth information into conclusions, check out this article. But now, you know the structure of conclusion paragraphs. And if you've made it this far, then you know the structure of an essay, which means you're ready for your last mastery check, and then you're ready to start your writing process. So good job. and good luck moving forward.